Hey y'all, it's Kathy Bowe. I appreciate so much you guys being here, and this is a pre recorded video for my Facebook page and my YouTube page, both called Kathy Bohannon Creatively Blessed. I have started a Kathy Bowe's crafting show sequence that just when I go live to go crafting, I might be paper crafting. I might be making some vintage type things, might be hand making paper. There's a chance I'll be playing with a brother scan and cut, and maybe even some machine embroidery. There's a lot going on in my studio, y'all, and don't be impressed. It's just a big old bedroom. But y'all, I love to craft and I love that you're here with me. We're gonna start off this season of Kathy Bowe's crafting show with this adorable vignette. Um, I mean, we could just call it Tim Holtz because that's pretty much everything in here, I think, is Tim Holtz, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly how I made it, and hopefully I will, I'll get, I won't mess up, which I'm already trying to do. Okay, here's how I did it. I started off with a piece of scrapbook paper, and I just distressed the edges with some kind of like a gunmetal gray. I used a black, a white, and a brown. It's almost a chocolate brown, but it's called espresso, but it's not that dark. And I just mixed it up until I got the tone of gray that I wanted. I just wanted something that looked old and that sort of thing. So the little sponge you see there, I dipped it into the paint, and then I dipped it into that little plastic thing that looks like a little egg crate. It's from Dollar Tree. You just put your little paints in there. My goodness, I put so many things in there. I put little doodly doos, I put paint, I put inks, just whatever. It's a great little something to have around. Um, you'll see underneath the scrapbooking paper that has the writing on it that I have a grid sheet. And what I did, I dipped my sponge into the water. Ugh, I dipped my sponge into the paint. There's no water involved here. And kind of rubbed it off on the grid sheet. And then I went around the edges of my of the scrapbook paper. Now, y'all, I struggle with words sometimes, and I apologize. Y'all, it's probably going to happen. Um, but anyway, so I went around the edges and just gently, because if you get too much on there, you've got too much on there. Like, if there's a way to remove it, I don't know it without damaging the paper. Which, when you're doing vintage, you could rough up those edges if you had to. It'd be all right. It would just look more vintage. So I went all the way around that paper. Okay, and to get the little kids, I cut off the top of one of Tim Holt's found relatives. It's a box that it kind of looks like playing cards on the back, but it's got all these vintage pictures. They're so cool, y'all. And I wanted to show you on this particular picture. You see where I'm cutting the trees off? Because trees are trees, right? They look just like they did 100 years ago. However, what I'm pointing at here is the corner of a house. And I didn't want to cut that out. I want that to remain in the vintage type scenario that we're going for. Anytime there's something in the background or foreground or whatever that is definitely part of the era, I want to keep that in my project. But the trees, they could go. I mean, I do love trees, don't get me wrong. Okay, so I cut those pieces off, and then I went in to choose out of these paper dolls from Tim Holtz. I chose Little Girl and Puppy Dog, and I'll show you those in a minute. But y'all, I love these images. They're so versatile. Some of them have little pouty little faces, and some of them are very serious, and some of them are very playful. It's just a great assortment of vintage photos. Okay, here's some other items I used. The one with the crown, I ended up not using that, but that is a really cool element to have in your stash. I just what I did, I created a old kind of tags hanging together where you see that key. It started out being a muslin type well, it is muslin and with a stamp on it that I purchased that way. And then I came in, if you look in the upper right hand corner of the box that I'm going to be using, um, you'll see the little key, the tags. And all I did there, y'all, I just distressed them, spritzed them. I don't know, I've had them for a long time. I put two together and I put a little rivet kind of thing through it. That's not what it's called, but you know, the little metal thing, and then tied them together. Okay, thought I would use them, but they just didn't fit in this time. So then we have the found relatives, the box, and that's where the little boys came from that I cut the trees out of. And then we have the adornments, which are ribbons and bows, and they're metal, and they just add some interest to our project. You'll see that closer up in a little bit. Right here we have um, the little girl that we're going to put in the corner. I've got glue on the back. And just to the right, you see her puppy dog. He's so cute. He's going in there too. And he was one of the paper doll figures that she and he were paper dog. He is. He's a paper dog and she's a paper doll. Figures that came in the pack. And then I have a hymnal sheet. Now, y'all, I bought an old hymnal. I'm talking probably 1920. I'm not even sure anymore. But I bought it for the purpose of crafting with it. It's not a Bible, but let me tell you this, I would never craft with a Bible. But if it bothers you to use a hymnal, don't use a hymnal. Just print you out some papers from online, some song sheets, whatever, that are free. Print those out, distress them, crunch them up a little bit, whatever you need or like to do. Um, so what I did, I cut just the top of that hymnal sheet off and I rolled it up. You'll see it up under that puppy dog. And you'll see it again in a few minutes when we get to the final picture. Now, sitting on top of the hymnal sheets are some blocks. I wanted to use these blocks to pop up my figures, and in the vignette, back in the day, they used to decoupage. They'd take three or four of the exact same image and kind of stack it, but put space between them. And it was a really cool effect. But I thought I would just pop up the little boys with those blocks. And I did pop them up, but I did end up using different blocks. And you'll see those right here up at the top. And all of these blocks came in one package from the Dollar Tree. They are tumbling tower game blocks, something like that, in the toy department. And this particular uh, this particular box of blocks had two different colors. One that was this one that's the blonde unfinished, and the other is painted. So I decided to use the painted one so it would be dark beneath it. So here I was using my, I think it's called glue press from My Sweet Petunia. It looks like you would plug it in or use batteries. No, it's just like a caulking gun. You just squeeze the little handle and glue comes out. I happen to love this product. It's got good and bad reviews, but I love it. So I put my little girl and her puppy dog. I'd already glued them onto my scrapbook paper. And by the way, I measured with a sewing tape measure, the flexible fabric one, I guess it is. I measured the inside first and made my little marks, and then I cut that scrapbook paper out. Glued the girl holding her baby doll and her puppy dog, and then I put the glue on that base and painted over it. Just painted the glue on. Okay, so here we have our little boys and their tumbling tower game. I believe that's right. Tumbling tower game blocks. So I put those on the back of the little cutout for the boys, and there they are getting ready to be put on. Now, at this point, the scrapbook paper is glued in, and the little girl and her puppy dog and the doll baby there are already glued on. So once I just used my glue press to put those blocks on. I think it's called glue press. It doesn't really say it on it. It uses Nuvo. Just a minute. I'm taking it out now. Yeah, Nuvo, Nuvo, deluxe adhesive from My Sweet Petunia. Anyway, it's a little overpriced, but I love the whole thing. So I glued down those little blocks, and then I put the little boys, raised them up with the little girl behind. Because they left her behind, y'all. They wanted to go off and be cowboys and whatever they're dressed up as. And they didn't want her to play with them because she's a little girl and she had a doll, baby doll. And the dog was being, he's being loyal to her. Okay, so then we've got this guy. He came out of the paper doll collection as well, and he was very, very white. Like it, it just didn't go. It was too stark of a contrast. So I used the wild wheat ink from Stampin' Up, and I used that sponge you see there, and I just sponged the wild wheat on him. Now he looks a little green at the gills, doesn't he, as my mama would say. But I came back and I kind of wiped a good bit of it off. And I mean, it's not the lighting. He really was that yellow right there. But here I wiped it off and left just enough tint where it's a little, is it sepia, whatever it is. Okay, you see that little metal medallion there? Well, that also is part of the ribbons and bows collection from Tim Holtz Ideology. And I needed that little hand. Do you see how his hand's kind of up in the air like he's propped up on something? I needed him to hold that. So I cut a tiny piece of cardboard and I glued that to the back of of the cutout of him. And I used super glue to glue the medallion onto the little piece of cardboard that was left sticking out. And I'll show you right here how that looks on the back. Okay, I had to use super glue on the metal because you got to do that, right? Regular glue doesn't work. And then I used my uh, the glue that I've been using. I used on him. Okay, so here we are. We've got the little guy holding the medallion. We've got the little girl and her puppy dog, and we've got the little boys. And at the top, you'll see there's another metal bow. I just kind of wanted that to be at the top. And we're still going to add a piece of washi tape inside the little vignette. Okay, and also you're going to see the Tim Holtz salvage stickers. All right, I mean let's just take a moment and just ooh and ah over these. If you like vintage like I do, this is a showstopper. I mean, it's full of little. They're all stickers, and you can use extra glue because you know you should because you're going to want it to stay on there forever. But inside that little booklet are just lots of different stickers. Well, this is where I got the ruler. You see the part that's missing. That's where I peeled off the ruler and cut it off, and then I put a piece back in case I want to use it later. So here we are. You can see the ruler at the bottom. And then we have Tim Holtz washi tape. Now, there's, I don't know, 5 or 6, and maybe I'll hear my puppy dog snoring. She's snoring over here. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 6 rolls of washi tape in that tube. Y'all, I bought a mystery box, and I want to say I got it from Simon Says Stamp. I think I did. They had 2 kinds. They had one for $49, I think, and then one for $99, I think. Anyway, so I bought the cheaper one, and I loved everything in it. Later, I saw them unboxing the higher priced one. Not, I didn't see a thing in there I needed. So I love the fact that I got these. I have washi tape to last forever now. So what I did, I cut off a piece of that little washi tape, and oh, we're not there yet. Hang on, hang on. Let's go back just a minute. Okay, cut off a piece of that washi tape, and you'll see it here in a little bit up there in the upper right hand corner. You'll see it. Okay, but you know that little piece of hymnal? I rolled it up and I glued it down inside there. Okay, look at their little costumes, their shoes, everything about this is so cool, y'all. Okay, and then here's our finished piece. We have the washi tape up in the corner. We have the little boys, the little girls in the background because they went out to play without her. We've got the little guy holding the medal, and I bet you that puppy dog's going to win the prize. I don't know what the categories are, but that puppy dog's got to win, right? Him and his little girl. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely wanted to share this with you the other day when Facebook was kind of acting crazy. Nobody could do Facebook all day, and I believe it was Tuesday, and that would have been March 6th, no, March 5th, 2024. So Facebook kind of lost its mind for a little bit, and that's why I wasn't able to create this live and in person on my channels. If you would please be sure that you have subscribed, follow me, and if Facebook ever goes on the fritz again like it did, just go over to YouTube and check me out there. And I would love it if you would subscribe to both because YouTube, we're having you need to be at 1,000 um, followers before, or subscribers rather, before you can be monetized, and I'm very close. And it sure would help me with my crafting supplies if I could get monetized on my channel. I just need probably 75, 80 more folks like you guys, and I would appreciate it so much if you would share and let me know what you think, okay? Thanks so much. Join me on Tuesday nights. Let me see if I've got this in here. I do. Here we go. I craft every Tuesday night on Facebook and YouTube at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock p.m. All right? So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. And toodles.